Trinidad's Senate passes a bill to raise the legal age for marriage. And in sport, the Caribbean Football Union boss hails the expansion of the World Cup to 48 teams. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, January 18. I'll be back with the details right after the break.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Rated, brand new single, tell us a song.
Prove yourself. The girl them song right now. I'm at the song in the street. Check it out. Right now I work with Carl Duran, Building Block. You don't know, we have the street guru on board, that is. You don't know the street guru, all who don't know the street guru, you don't know Stampede, that. Them man, they say straight. So you don't know the team well organized and put together, because Building Block is just, it's not just a record label, it's an entity.
How the girl them need, that I do make the girl them please. Word to them and them have no man weed.
The Trinidad and Tobago Senate last night passed an amendment to the marriage bill, increasing the legal age of marriage to 18. But it did not have the support of opposition legislators. During the debate, leader of opposition business in the Senate, Wade Mark, gave his support to the age being increased to 18. But he said the main opposition, United National Congress, was also suggesting there be an exception for children between 16 and 18 years in circumstances where there is parental and judicial consent, where legal aid is provided, and where the child is involved in the decision. Mark had also suggested that the bill be sent to a joint select committee of Parliament to allow civil society groups and religious bodies a further opportunity to express their views on amendments to the legislation. But that advice was not heeded and the bill was passed. Mark had made it clear even before then that the opposition would take action.
We will take to the streets, we will tell the country what our position was, and the Attorney General and the government rejected it. And in those circumstances, whatever happens at the end of the day to the bill, we take no responsibility for it.
The Barbados government is insisting the country's economy is not in any danger, as the opposition has been claiming. In fact, Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair says the economy has improved so much over the last few years that when the statistics are released, people will be shocked. He told Parliament that a report compiled by his ministry with support from the International Monetary Fund had found that the situation was not as dire as the Barbados Labour Party was portraying. Sinclair said that very shortly government would release that information to show people what the real size of the economy is and how it has risen over the last 10 years. Opposition leader Mia Mottley earlier demanded that Sinclair and Prime Minister Franda Stewart address pertinent issues relating to the economy. But the Finance Minister was adamant that neither his office nor the Central Bank of Barbados had withheld information from the public. He also dismissed the possibility of the Barbados currency being devalued, saying he was prepared to resign if that happened. Meantime, in Jamaica, the government is predicting 2% economic growth this financial year. Finance Minister Audley Shaw told legislators last night that real GDP growth for the first half of the current fiscal year was 1.7% compared to 1.2% in the first half of 2015-2016. He said growth in the economy has been fairly broad-based, with agriculture and fisheries growing by 17.4%, hotels and restaurants by 1.7%, and electricity and water supply by 3.8%, and manufacturing and construction by 0.7%. Shaw noted that while the economic growth is in line with government's 1.7% official projection, he expects that under the country's IMF-supported program, growth could be closer to the 2% if the momentum seen thus far continues in the second half of the fiscal year. And still in Jamaica, National Security Minister Robert Montague has defended government's decision to reject the United Kingdom's offer to help build a maximum security prison in the country. He says while the UK would have funded 40% of the construction costs, Jamaica would need to find an additional £32 million to finance it, and that's money taxpayers can't afford at this time. Speaking on Radio Jamaica yesterday morning, Montague stressed that relations between Jamaica and the UK remained friendly, but he explained the basis for the rejection of the prison deal.
Thank you for your kind offer. We have been friends for a long time, but we would prefer if you would help us with schools and factories. We have a problem with our prisons, but it is our problem. There are some things that we must own. We must own the crime problem in this country, and we must treat with it. So the rejection, it's not a rejection of the UK. The UK does things in their best interest. Jamaica must do the same.
The National Security Minister also noted that under the UK deal, Jamaica would have had to accept 600 people serving time in British prisons.
In 3 years' time, 400-500 ex-convicts being let out on the Jamaican society. Most of them would have left Jamaica from they were children. Some of them would have never visited Jamaica. It was their grandparents, our parents, who had left, and they are Jamaican by descent. They have no support system. They know nobody. They are strangers in the place. What would happen to our society? We have to take these into consideration.
Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is after this break.
We'd be struggling in the fishing category. You'd be kicking it in the rapping category. You got Crank Slick Rick, Paul. This is a little tougher than football.
A little slower.
A little slower. Oh, you just good at one sport, or you good at all sports? Or you want to be good at all sports?
I'm pretty I'm pretty good at football. I was a state champ wrestler.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't too good at basketball. And I'm a competitor, so you know I'm pissed I haven't caught a fish yet.
Caribbean Football Union President Gordon Derrick believes the decision to expand the World Cup to 48 teams will augur well for regional sides, but he says this does not represent a guarantee of a spot at the showpiece. Just a week ago, football's world governing body FIFA voted on the move, which will see the number of teams at the showpiece rise from 32 to 48 and the number of games leap from 64 to 80. Currently, CONCACAF only has 3 automatic berths at the World Cup, with a possible 4th available through an interconfederation playoff. Now, Derrick told the Jamaica Observer while an increase in spots for the continental governing body was anticipated, this did not mean that CFU teams would automatically benefit. The new move by FIFA will see 16 groups of 3 nations contest the preliminary round, with 32 teams qualifying for the knockout round. The chances will take effect from, or the changes will take effect from 2026. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.